if you just joined us, give us 1 second. I did invite Chrisie on to this live video, so we'll give her a second to join in. And if you just joined us, guys, thank you very much for being here today. Hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving holiday. Mine was amazing. Lots of friends and family. Just good times. Took my son to the zoo last Wednesday. Just him and I. That was a lot of fun. And then took him to Disney over the weekend. And of course, my son absolutely loved that. So what we're doing right now is I'm just waiting for Chrisie to jump in for the interview part, and let me see if that works. Let's see, add as a guest. And I've never done it this way before, so we'll make sure that this works. There we go. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, yay, I've never done the share video. I usually use the Be Live platform, so
my first time.
I love when I feel tech savvy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let me just pull up a couple of things here. There we go. Okay. So Chrisie, thanks for joining me. If you are not familiar with who Chrisie is, you need to check her out in her Fit Focus group, and I'll make sure that we get a link posted. But Chrisie, you and I go way back. I think I was checking it out. We've been friends for like almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. And you know, 10 years ago, I mean, I was blessed with Filipino genes, so I don't really have to work out a lot. And I was teaching martial arts full time, so I wasn't really into fitness and nutrition. It wasn't until my son was about to be born and I was testing for my 6th degree black belt, and I had to run a half marathon as part of my black belt training. And I had to log 100 miles during 90 days, so that's when I got into running. Because I know that when you and I talked and tested, you're like, wait a minute, you run for 3 hours twice a week? It wasn't just running, it was run, walk, and stuff. But I got into fitness a little bit, and it kind of like teetered off when my son was born. And then in March, I went to Spain with my boy Lonnie, and we traveled together a lot. And while we were there, he was just talking about fitness and this primal challenge that he was doing with his school. And I was like, man, I really should look into this fitness and nutrition thing. And then in April, you met me in Jupiter with Sonia for a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. And just talking to you, I got re-inspired. And shortly after that, we had our MegaCon event. And then Lonnie started this primal challenge for our discovery group, which is our high-end coaching clients. And I did it, and all I did was, I worked out a little bit more consistently, but I tweaked my diet. I got rid, and we're starting the 21-day primal challenge again yesterday. And like, I got rid of carbs and grains and sugars, and it was amazing how my body looked and how I felt. And even my friends were like, wow, you look great. What are you doing? And it wasn't necessarily what I was doing working out. It was how I switched my nutrition and switched my diet. And I follow you, and you're like one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to that. And I believe that I'm not the only one. I believe that there's a lot of other people in the martial arts industry who are we're very busy people. We're very giving of ourselves to others. So sometimes we lose focus on how important it is to take care of ourselves. And that's where you come into play as an inspiration to me, because I need to be not just held accountable, but I need to be inspired. So I follow your page every day, and especially since you're my good friend, you're so inspiring. And that's why we're working together now. You're doing a private coaching with me, and you've got a lot of great things going on. And I wanted to bring you into our skills tips group with all of our martial arts friends and family, so that maybe you can help inspire some other people, especially with December coming up at the end of the week, the holidays. I know last year I overindulged, and I don't want to do that again this year. I don't want to say, okay, in January I'm going to change these habits. I want to start doing it now, so that I go into January already in part of that transformation and healthy mindset, so that January is not the beginning, but the momentum builder. So when I asked you if you would do a Facebook Live interview today, you said yes. And you said that you would share with us 5 nutritional tips, with 5 nutritional tips on how to thrive through the holiday season and elevate your game in the new year. So can we just jump right in it and have you share these tips?
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Absolutely. First, I want to say thank you for asking me to come on and allowing me to be present here in your group. Honored to be here, and super honored to have you as a friend for so many years. So my 5 tips. Here we go. First, I need you to pick and choose your battle. So life is going to happen. Not only the holidays here, you may have a friend or two that's going to have a birthday party. You might want to go out, have a drink, whatever it may be. Pick and choose your battles. Look at a calendar. You know, maybe you're invited to 6 parties between now and the new year, because some of us are. So you have to decide, which parties are you going to indulge? You know, are you going to eat lean protein and some veggies, drink a lot of water, maybe have a glass or 2 of wine? You know, are you gonna decide that, you know what, that night I'm gonna have a free meal? And I say free meal, not like I don't have to pay anything, but free as opposed to cheat. So I think, you know, cheating definitely has a negative connotation. It's actually morally wrong to cheat your taxes, to cheat on your spouse, whatever, it's wrong. But eating a piece of cake is not morally wrong. So, you know, we may say, oh, that's so good, it's sinful. It's really not. It's just food. But it's important to plan out your food, because as Melody pointed out, we don't always see what we eat on the outside, but we feel it. So if you want to feel your best, if you want to have energy, you know, not being so sluggish the last month of the year, if you have, you know, goals, whether it's personal, physical, financial goals, and you want to reach those, if you fulfill your body for that, you're going to be able to reach them with less friction.
You know what? There's 2 points on that if I can just reiterate. Okay, the first one is, I love that you don't call it a cheat meal, because you made this post, and I would love for you to share it if you can find it again in the Skills Tips group, because that post was, if there was one post this year that I read that inspired me, it was that one. Because you're not really cheating, you're giving yourself a pass, because you're right, you cheat on your taxes, that's not good. You cheat on your significant other, that's not good. Let's not associate eating something like a bowl of spaghetti with those negative connotations, yes. Right? Let's use it as a free pass. You get your hall pass. So pick and choose your battles. Don't call it a cheat meal. Give it a free meal. But you decide which ones you want to indulge on and which ones you don't, which is great. Because next weekend we've got our big Discovery Group event with all my Discovery Group family coming in to PCI. And I got to pick and choose what's nights, because we're on a 21-day challenge. I'll give myself a free night or 2, but I need to pick and choose one. I love that. And then the other thing you said is talking about feeling good on the inside, right? And that was something that I didn't understand until I started cutting out the carbs and sugars, thanks to the Primal Challenge. And this weekend we were at Disney and Disney Springs with my son, and there was several times where parents came up to me and said, you are so great with your son, and I love how you guys are playing. Like, we would play in line, and they're like, how do you have the energy? And really what it is, it's a lot of it is healthy nutrition, you know, eating healthy foods. So great point. Okay. Didn't want to hijack you. Let's go on to your next tip. Tip number 2.
So my second tip is drink water. The easiest way to figure this out, if you're a healthy individual, let's say you don't have any medical conditions, take your weight in pounds divided by 2. And that is the minimum number of ounces you want to have in a day. And I stress minimum. Okay, like that is the bare minimum for you to feel well, for your metabolism not to be on the floor. However, if you're an overachiever and your goal is weight loss, I recommend that you take your weight in pounds and you take that number and make that your ounce marker. So if I weigh 8 pounds, I want to drink 120 ounces of water in a day.
And, how many bottles of water is that?
Now listen.
How many bottles of water?
How many, what? I'm sorry, how many pounds?
How many bottles of water is that?
How many bottles of water? About 6, right?
Yeah.
These are like 20, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you do it like this, it's much easier. Yeah, I've done it before where you just take a bottle. There you go.
9 rounds plug for my boy Shuman. Okay, so I have a question on that, because I'm not big on drinking water, mostly because I'm just too busy. or when I drink water, I feel full, and then I have to use the bathroom more often. Or I've even tried to set an alarm to remind myself to drink water, and I didn't follow it. After 2 days, I was like, this stupid alarm. I don't even use the ring anymore because it was so annoying. So, any special tips or advice for people who may be like myself, who just either forget to drink water or just don't like the way water tastes, or just don't get into that mindset? How can you build a habit of drinking water all day so that you're reaching those ounce requirements?
Mm-hmm. So you already stole my one tip, and you already declared to the whole group that it doesn't work. However, alarms do work for some people. It's like just a little subtle reminder. After a few days, yeah, you might get over it, but it is a nice little reminder. I've also taken a Sharpie and written on a bottle of water, 10 a.m., 12 a.m., drink up, 2 a.m., or 2 p.m. That works for some people if you like to drink out of a big jug. For some people, it works just to leave your cap not on and to leave it right there, right? Just having it to grab, not having to do this, or a straw in the bottle.
Okay.
And some people don't love the taste of water per se, even though it is a tasteless beverage. You can always flavor it with something like lemon juice, which actually has some other benefits, as a diuretic also. But since you mentioned going to the bathroom, that might not be the good choice for you. It won't just make you go more.
Okay. So I like the idea of the Sharpie on the bottle. That's a great idea too.
Yeah. And you can write little messages depending on how you motivate yourself. Like go for it, or do it now, or drink up, or whatever works for you.
All right, cool. And if Lonnie were here, Lonnie would say, suck it up and drink.
Exactly. A different message works for different people.
It's funny because when he passed out our 21-day primal challenge to our group, Tony Miller and I were looking at each other going, no alcohol for 14 days. And Lonnie's like, yeah, suck it up, ladies. So I get it. Okay, let's move on to
real quick, Melody. Okay. I always like to challenge my clients because they'll come in and they'll say, well, I can't drink 4 bottles of water in a day, but they have no problem attending a party and drinking 4 glasses of whatever 2 hours.
Are you talking about me?
So it's like, oh, my friend.
All right, good point. All right, let's move on to tip number 3.
Okay.
As I drink my water.
Tip number 3 is ignore the naysayers. So maybe it's friends or family that you go out with, whether it's to Disney or just at a family function, and they encourage you as much as they can to steer you away from your goals. There's going to be a few friends and family, maybe not family, but a few friends, just people that can be a positive part of your peer group. Share your goals with those people because they're going to help you be accountable, whether it's drinking more water or eating more vegetables, whatever it is. Share goals with those people. The naysayers, just ignore them. That's your best bet because they're always going to be there. Misery likes company. That is so true. If they aren't happy and feeling their best, they're not going to understand you wanting to feel and look your best also.
Yeah, and that's that's extremely important. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing the opposite of like Kurt, Malia, Tony, Lorraine. They're all doing their version of the 21-day challenge right now because they were so motivated by it. And so if you surround yourself by people who are going through the same journey as you, you're going to build a lot more momentum. Like for our Primal Challenge, we have a private group, so we're posting our foods and we're sharing all this information. So if you can find a tribe of people who are going to do it with you, but you talk to each other each day, whether it's your own private Facebook group or it's in Chrissie's group, and you're commenting every day, you're sharing your feedback, or it's in the Skills Tips group, or even if it's just via text message, texting your friend back and forth and saying, hey, I reached my goal, just telling somebody else so that you can be held accountable, but also so that you have that motivation and that support. There's a lot of benefit to that. So ignoring your naysayers is a tip that sounds common, but it's often overlooked. But if you cohesively look at that tip and you execute it, boy, it's way more powerful. Okay, great. So then what's tip number 4 or number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is 4, right? This is number 5?
I think so, yeah. Set a goal and write it down.
Yes.
Drink water was number 2. Choose your battles, number 3. Or maybe you said choosing your battles, number 1. Ignoring the naysayers. Okay, we got 2 more.
Okay, so 4.
Okay.
Set a goal and write it down. So a great goal would be, I weigh X, but I will weigh X, R, Y, Z for 5 years, for 10 years, for a lifetime. So I've been doing this a really long time. And a common mistake I see is people set a goal. I want to weigh 150 pounds. And then they get to 150 and then they just let it go. And then the next thing they know, they're at 155, 160, 165, because they didn't set a great goal, an outstanding goal. They set an goal. They need to say, I want to weigh 140, 145 for the next 10 years, right? That's a goal that doesn't stop. So I also recommend that people set body fat goals if possible, if you can get your body fat taken, because if we're really focused on our fitness, most of us, as we age, we lose all of us, as we age, we lose our muscle. So a great goal would be for women, men, everyone to keep and gain muscle mass. That said, your weight on the scale is not always a good indicator of health.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Okay.
So
and,
go ahead, Melanie. I'm sorry.
So I like that because, for example, I was drinking Diet Coke for a while, and then after Lonnie harassed me a little bit about it, or I think it was Lonnie, I stopped drinking altogether. And I said, I will never drink Diet Coke as a regular habit ever again. Every once in a while, I'll have a sip or something, but it's going to be out of my diet. And then with the Primal Challenge, I got rid of Sprite. So now I'm not going to drink Sprite or soda on a daily basis. I will reserve soda for certain times, where I'm just in the mood for it, but it's not going to be part of my daily diet. So I love that. Set these big goals and make them long term. So your mindset of thinking short term, yes, that's important, but really the ultimate objective is to have these long term, big, hairy, audacious goals, as Jim Collins says.
Consistency. Now, those are outcome goals. Another goal that I love setting for people is called process goals. So maybe your goal might be, we know that if we do this process, it's going to get us to your long-term goal. But if your goal is to lose XYZ, well, my process goal for you would be to work out 3 times a week. Okay. My process goal might be for you to have 3 servings of vegetables a day.
Okay.
So those little increments that will get you, and it's not really measured by a pound on the scale or a pinch of your skin. It's actually measured by what you do, your activity.
Okay. Yeah. And it's, that's similar to running a business, right? So if you want to grow your business by 10% in the next calendar year, your process goals will be, this is how many new clients or new business you want to acquire. And also a combination of how many more members you want to retain. It's a formula, and you have to figure out which formula works best for you depending on where your niche is. So I love that. Okay, final tip.
Be prepared. Just be prepared. What I mean is, you went to Disney this weekend, right?
I did. Yes.
I did also. But guess what?
I missed you. You were ahead of me.
Prepared. So I had my snacks with me ready to go, because you and I both know at Disney it smells like a delicious, donut. And those aren't always the best options. So take your snacks with you. Eating out. In my 7-day plan, I have recommendations for eating out, because life happens. Like I said at the beginning, whether it's a birthday or a holiday party, it's going to come up. You just have to have the tools in your belt to help you, get through them the best you can. So be prepared. That's
the hard part is being prepared. You and I took a road trip to New Orleans. Gosh, like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I tell the story all the time. Like, you were competing for Tri Fitness, or you had some kind of competition, and you had these bags of almonds or walnuts or whatever. There's like 7 or 8 in each little Ziploc bag, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And that's how disciplined you were.
Yeah, you can definitely take it to the next level always with anything, which at that time I definitely was next level. But basically what I mean is having a plan for, like I already know what I'm going to have for dinner tomorrow night. Why? Because I don't mind eating leftovers and it's already prepared. So just having a plan for your meals, having a plan for your snacks, not getting caught while I'm at work. I don't know what to do, and the closest thing is a fast food joint around the corner.
Yep, hey, that's a really good point. You know, Jill was very prepared with Van for his snacks over the weekend because he's always hungry when he sees food around. I'm hungry, and he rubs his stomach and just like, oh well, I have this healthier snack for you than this ice cream over there. So be prepared. So you know what, Chrisie, that leads me into my next question for this interview is talking about being prepared. A lot of times, you know, we have the motivation or the desire and the need to want to be healthier, want to be more nutritious, but we don't know where to start and we don't know how to reach from point A to point B. And that is one thing that you and I are working together on now is a couple of new products that you're going to have available for your community. And the first one is, and it's going to be something that I jump on board. It's your 7-day slim down. And this is, if you don't know how to be prepared, this is something that will help you become prepared. And you know, I read through it and it's really, 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 really good. But I have a couple questions for you if you don't mind, because I have Absolutely. A feeling that if I have questions, other people are probably going to have the same questions. Yes. So the first one is, so you have this 7-day slim down, and it's basically a diet plan, right? And a mindset plan for 7 days, mm-hmm. and it really will help build momentum into you reaching your goals. And I want to do it before January, but the problem is that I have tons of parties and tons of events and tons of things between now and the end of the year. Is it okay if you're doing like a 7-day slim down, if you skip a day or two, or how do you discipline yourself if not? I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who goes, man, I want to start it this week, but this weekend I'm going to be out of town and I don't really think that I'm going to have the accessibility to have this diet during the weekend. What's your advice?
My advice is start now. And that's my advice for anything as far as how to improve your health. Start now. It doesn't matter if you're going to go out for dinner tonight and have wine. You can have a healthy lunch. You can have a healthy snack. People always, you know, they want to start on Monday. Well, there's only 52 Mondays in a year, so you're setting yourself up for failure. Cut it out. So just start now and do what you can. So let's say, you know, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to start tonight, prep my food. I'll be ready to start eating the plan Wednesday. Go to it and follow the plan exactly as best you can. And then, you know, if you're going to go out, have your glass of wine. And then you should have your food prepared already for the next few days. So there's really no lax in time. And I find, especially when you're going out drinking, if you have that meal already prepared, it's less likely that you go out and have that big, you know, juicy, greasy burger. That most post-drinking.
You're a Monday girl, huh? I see here in the comments. Yeah, you know, Chrisie, man, you're right. Because it's like yesterday started our 21-day primal challenge. We were traveling, so it was not easy to stick to all the things that Lonnie set up for us. So I was like, you know, maybe I'll just skip this one. And I was like, nope, this morning I woke up and I had to make my coffee again twice. So first time I made my coffee, I actually put sugar in it. I was like, I'm not supposed to have sugar. And then I made it again. I put almond milk in. I was like, we're not supposed to have almond milk either. So I made 3 cups of coffee before I got it right. But, you know, I was okay with making a couple bad habit choices yesterday, knowing that it's just building momentum. Now, let me ask you a question, though. So for like your 7-day slim down challenge, I usually eat pretty healthy because, you know, I've reprogrammed my mindset since August with these challenges. What makes your 7-day slim down challenge beneficial for somebody who is already healthy, somebody like me or maybe a little bit healthier than me?
So the difference would be having a plan, having a set of rules to follow. Just like you said, you know, like yesterday, you didn't make a decision. Today, when you made your coffee, you made a decision. What was the difference? You just made your mind up. You had something like Lonnie said, don't do this, so you had something to follow, so you did it. Even if you already have a successful business, right? But it's just you're just kind of letting it go. It's kind of good. It's making money, whatever. Our gross, our net's increasing. But, you know, you don't have all the systems in place to track it and say, oh, we're going this much every quarter, right? If you have a plan, you can say, okay, I'm getting better because now I am eating my vegetables. Now I am getting my fruits in. Now I am drinking my water. And man, it's improving and it's showing. Not only do I feel better, but I look better as well.
But, you know, excellent. Okay, so one more question question on your 7-day slim down. So you created this 7-day slim down. It's a diet and a mindset thing, and I read through it. Jeff is helping with the creation of it. Eric Shields, give him a shout out because he did your PDF and everything, and it's great. But let me ask you a question. What was your primary goal with the 7-day slim down challenge, just so that people understand, what objectives are when you have these challenges?
My primary goal will be to answer a question that I get all the time. Where do I start? And this is where you start. Everything from shopping to, just cleaning up your foods. You get a shopping list. I made this plan with 3 different clients in mind. The first client is a meat eater who has unlimited access, someone to cook maybe not someone to cook their food for them, but doesn't mind cooking for themselves a lot. And they don't eat leftovers, right? So they have a different option for every meal and snack throughout the whole 7 days. The next option was someone more like myself who does not cook for a lot of people. I cook for one person. And I don't mind eating leftovers. So I stock my fridge. And like I said, I already know what I'm going to have for dinner tomorrow night because I'm prepared. So it's a meat eater plan, but there's a lot of repeats, and it's an easy prep plan.
Okay.
And then the third is a vegetarian. So, no meat options, not a complete vegan. There's egg in the program, but you can always make substitutions by repeating one of the complete vegan meals.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm a meat eater, but I looked at the vegetarian plan, and I think I'll do the 7-day slim down first, regular, and then the second time that I do it, I think I'm going to try the vegetarian plan just to see if I can challenge myself to try it out, which is really cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you don't mind, if anybody has questions, you can go ahead and type them down in the chat bar. And while we're doing that, one of the things that I like about you, Chrisie, is your accessibility. And I think that that's what makes me really gravitate towards your advice, not because there's so many different fitness gurus out there, right, that you can listen to, but you're just really accessible. And your Fit Focus group, we'll have to post the link at the end of this so that people can join in, is that you make posts, you do daily touches, which is really cool and inspire everybody. But when people ask questions or they post in there, you're really accessible. And I think that that's really cool. So if you're not part of her group yet, jump on board if this is something that you really want to take seriously, because your information is just great. Everybody's has to have a mentor in different areas, right? And obviously, you're my mentor in this area. So jump in that group. So thank you for your accessibility. Let me just look through the comments here. Lori said, Lonnie's that little voice in your head keeping us on track. And Chrissy, same thing.
We all have one.
Stefan, so much good information. Stefan, he's from Germany. Thanks, Stefan. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay. So I do 20 HIIT kickboxing, 5 days most of the time. I love cheese, potatoes, fried food, and I don't like to give up my food. Keep in mind, I don't eat only once a day or at all. Do you think weight loss will happen with just exercise?
Unfortunately, no. You can't out-exercise a bad diet, but here's what I can tell you. So the cheese, the potatoes, the fried foods, let's not worry about putting those anywhere. Keep them in your diet for right now. And I don't tell that to many people, but if that's what you have right now, let's keep that. But what I do want you to do is add cheese, potatoes, fried foods. Nowhere did I hear fruits or vegetables. So let's, and can you tell me how many times a day you eat? Because according to how many times a day you eat, I'll make your recommendation.
Keep in mind, I don't eat only once a day or at all. So I think she means sometimes she only eats once a day. Ooh. Or nothing at all. And this is our demographics. So okay. I eat only once a day. Okay, because we're really busy.
Only once a day. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will challenge you to add a serving of fruit and 2 servings of vegetables to that one meal.
Okay.
A lot of times, so people, they get really mixed up in carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and we focus on it so much because that's where our calorie comes from. But our metabolism happens in our cells, and those are fueled by not macronutrients, micronutrients, meaning vitamins, minerals. And our diets are pretty much devoid of those because our foods just aren't what they used to be. So I think you'll experience some changes internally just by starting to add things that you could really benefit from, like fruits and vegetables.
And you know what, Chrisie, that's such a great point. So, to give you an example, one thing that I had to do at first, because I'm a fried chicken girl, is eat all my vegetables on my plate first. And then I'll feel a little bit fuller. And then actually I feel really good about myself for eating all those vegetables that I wouldn't eat as much of the fried part. Or same thing with pasta, eat my vegetables first. And now another thing, and I don't know if I saw it from you or saw it somewhere else, but I saw it, eat fruit while you're cooking. So if you are cooking, the snack on the fruit while you're doing that, because it's just, it's delicious, it's nutritious, but then you get a little bit more full, but you eat your fruits and you get those micronutrients in your belly first before you actually eat the other meal. So what great advice. Two things that I liked about that is, number one, you can't work out your diet, your poor diet, which is very important. A lot of people think as long as I work out really hard, then I can eat whatever I want, which is how I always felt. And then the other thing is, you're not telling us to get rid of the bad foods. You're telling us to add in good foods. And there's a sense of mental momentum that you get from that. When you start eating good, you start feeling good about yourself, and you start making better choices because you're building up that momentum. It's kind of like in what we do is with our discovery group, is the first thing we have to do every day is make our bed. So you wake up, first thing you do, make your bed. It's mission accomplished. It builds that momentum for the rest of the day. So 2 great points. Okay, we got another question from Jasmine. What kind of tip would you get for preparing an entire family and then having to prep for yourself? So would you try and recommend pushing the same meal plan, or with a good balance for that? So I think what Jasmine's trying to say is she's cooking for her family, but she also wants to be healthier for herself. What kind of tips do you have to have that good balance?
So I would definitely recommend, trying to get your family on the healthier options. It's only going to benefit them, whether it's their behavior, because a lot of us don't realize it, but behavior is definitely dependent on digestion. So if you can switch your family over to the healthier options, I say go for it. If not, kind of depends on what you're making. Let's say you're going to make a casserole for the family. I use that simply because it's something easy to make for a big group of people. Maybe you take out the single ingredients first, like a separate plate for you, and you can bake those next to your casserole. You don't have to add, the cream of whatever or the extra butter in your dish. You can just bake it dry. So not that you have to necessarily buy different ingredients, but you can definitely choose to prepare them in better ways if your family won't go for the clean way.
Okay, yeah, and I was doing that at first too when I was making meals. Jill likes breaded chicken. I wasn't eating the bread because I was cutting out the carbs. So I would just make hers side by side. It takes a little bit of extra time, but that was okay. But then we got to the point where we would just collaborate on meals that were a little bit more of a healthy balance. Crock pot meals are great for cooking for a big family and eating nutritious. So Google healthy crock pots. So Jasmine said, let's see. I only eat salad with pizza or chicken fingers. Does that count? So if you eat salad with your pizza, salad with your chicken fingers, does that count?
Wow. Well, I recommend you definitely eat more salad and less pizza and chicken fingers. But there's always if you like chicken fingers, maybe you like the whole breading around the chicken breast, but you can opt for better options. Maybe you use an almond meal or an almond flour versus, like a heavy all-purpose flour. Or if it's pizza, there's a lot of great options, even in the grocery store right now, for like a cauliflower crust. So there are healthier options. And, thankfully, as time goes on, we are becoming more health conscious. And everybody's caught on yet. But I think most people are definitely starting to pay more attention. So with that said, there's always going to be options for you in the grocery store. And thank God for the World Wide Web, right? You can find options on the internet.
It's funny that you say that because Bev and Terry had us over for spaghetti meal while we were going through the last challenge, and I couldn't have carbs, and I love her spaghetti. So one of the parents in my kickboxing class said, well, why don't you try the zucchini noodles, the pre-cut in Publix, the spiral noodles? And I did, and now that's how I eat my pasta. I don't even like regular pasta anymore. I love the zucchini noodles. It's more delicious and nutritious. Exactly. But yeah, having those alternatives. If you try the alternatives out with the right mindset, there's a good chance that you're going to like it better because you're going to feel better. Not just physically feel better because you're getting better nutrition, but mentally better, knowing that, hey, I'm choosing this more healthier option. I'm still have my pizza, but it's a cauliflower pizza. So you still get that mindset in there as well.
Exactly.
Which
building a body that you can be proud of from the inside out.
Okay.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Jasmine said, I only have good food in the house, so they only have those options. Yes, absolutely. That's one thing that I did is when we jumped in the Primal Challenge is I got rid of all the bad food. So starting with cleaning out your pantry and getting rid of those, that's definitely a good start. All right, so great. So really quickly, Chrisie, just to wrap it up, your 7-day slim down challenge. I can't wait to get started on it. What is that going to be available for everybody? Because I know you've been working back and forth with Jeff. Do we have a timeline yet, or?
No, I'm hoping by the end of this week.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Very cool. And then, of course, you're going to have all kinds of cool swag products for the first people to jump on and everything like that, which is going to be very exciting. Okay, so be on the lookout for the 7-day slim down challenge, and we'll be making some posts for you guys, and maybe we'll all do it together or something like that, and make it a lot of fun so we can support each other. No other questions right now, but I will post the link to your Chrisie Fit Focus group, which is awesome. And that way you have a little bit more accessibility to Chrisie. Chrisie, thank you very much for joining me today.
Bye, guys.
Hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks
and
so
guys,
much.
thank you guys very much for joining. And this live video will be posted in the group, and I'll give you the link to Chrisie so you can share it in your group as well.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Okay. Happy Tuesday. Bye.